If you've ever wanted to raise chickens, rabbits, and other small critters and feed them sprouted barley fodder, but the videos that you've watched generally show a production of far more fodder than you can actually use, here's how I do it. You've got your whole barley, right? This is scratch and peck, and it's dusty, so I use a sifter to sift it out, and my 3 hens get a total of 1.5 cups of dry barley sprouted on a 7-day rotation. I use these plastic tubs. I believe these are Ziploc with holes drilled in the bottom so they can drain. Each one of these holds about 1.5 cups. It's 1.5 pints if you find them. Then I have a plastic tub upturned over, in this case, a metal rack that I've rigged up so that it's high enough so that some can go under and some can go on top in a rotation. Underneath is a sprouting mat, a heated sprouting mat. So I can do this year round. I also use, as you can see, in the winter, I use a full spectrum light to help them sprout. Otherwise, it just takes far more than a week. Okay. So you get your small bucket, and I'm just gonna scoop 1.5 cups of dried barley that has already been sifted, and I'm just gonna let it sit. It's gonna sit overnight. Tomorrow, I'll do the same thing. I'll pour this bucket into one of those and set it in there. And I'll fill this thing back up again with water and 1.5 cups. And you just keep doing this for 7 days. On the 7th day, and I'll show you when I get to 7 days, on the 7th day, what you've been sprouting is going to be big enough to feed to your chickens or rabbits, and you won't have a whole lot of leftover. In fact, I think 1.5 cups is too much for my 3 hens. But I find that if I have less than 1.5 cups, it doesn't stay damp. There's not enough thickness to hold the moisture in. But I will show this as this video goes on. I'm going to show it every day so that you see how the sprouting continues, and then how I just feed it to my hens. And then the tub goes into the dishwasher to be reused the next time. Here we go. Day 1. I've dumped the grain into the perforated tub, and now it's going to drain down off my deck. Right now it's sitting on the Seedling sprouting mat, so it has a very mild warmth. On day 5, when the bottom is all filled up, that moves up to the top because they'll have pretty good roots going on by then. Day 2. Now there are 2 in there. I've watered the first one. I usually just use a quart jar to water everything at once, and then it drains on down. And now I'm going to sift all the chaff out of this in my big handy sifter that I got at the thrift store. That way I don't have a bucket full of chaff when I measure out my 1.5 cups each day. By day 3, you're starting to see some definite root growth, and even by day 2, you're starting to see a little bit of sprouting. That's how you know that everything's going well. So now I have 3 days, and we'll continue. Here we are, day 4. Better root systems there, root systems here, a little bit there. This is today's. It's going to keep going like this until on day 7 we feed. Now, if you have pigeons or something that doesn't want to have the green growths, you could feed it at this stage and they'd be perfectly happy, and I'm sure it would be good and nutritious, but not as nutritious as if it has the green growth also. I missed a day because I was very busy. So here you can see what this looks like at 6 days. And there, that'll be 5. That'll be 4. Good root development. And for tomorrow, I'm soaking 2 portions. And there we go. 2 portions. And that will be portioned into the containers. And then one will just be 6 days worth of development rather than 7 when I feed it. And that's okay. And here is the result. You see I have 7 in there. And this one is absolutely gorgeous. We're going to feed it to the hens. As you can see, they absolutely love it. They eat the greens, they eat the roots and all, and it'll give them something to scratch and peck at all day. And instead of free-ranging, which puts them at risk of hawks, they have this delicious, natural, you see, look them go. And I think it just improves their quality of life and their nutrition. So there you go.